just back from Ealing. I think that's southwest London. These young actually brothers you can hear. GOCC, Gathering of Christchurch, Street Preaching, Chicago, The Truth, Emet in Hebrew, The Truth Spoken. That's on. Just let me get my glasses. They were in my bag. Here they are, my new glass case. I've still got that old one that the grandchildren got me. It says, Nan sees the good in everything. Certainly see all the good that's of him in GOCC, whatever the branch. Whether it's London, here where I am, I've only been to once. And I was too ashamed to go back because I went astray again. Still believed in Yeshua, never ever stopped believing in Yeshua HaMashiach, because about 12 years ago, I didn't know he was real. I'd been to Sunday school a few times, but my mum didn't really believe in my nan. My dad was in prison for stealing lead of a roof. So we used to go to Sunday school, but it was more to get us out of the house. They could make the Sunday roast when they could afford a roast, you know. Most Sundays we didn't always have meat. My mum brought me up really well, and then my dad was there later. What was I saying? And then about 12 years ago, I didn't see a dream or a vision. Lots of these people have dreams and visions, they're false. It says in the Bible, Satan can appear as an angel of light, okay? I didn't hear an outside voice. This is all good because I was diagnosis, you know, like a Gnostic, in a knowing. I'm a Gnostic Christian, pre-Constantine Christian, that keeps the laws, statutes and commandments and is not a lawless rebel. I was a lawless rebel against the governments. You might have heard me mention, I'm not joking, I wanted to arm revolutionary uprising and overthrow capitalism and imperialism since I was about 15, but then like Huey Newton of the Black Panther Party, that I was really big on. Some people say they were anti-white, they were racist. They were not. They were for the black man first, which is fair enough in segregated America. You know, he who feels it knows it. We can understand a bit, especially now that there's a lot of anti-white racism, like the NOFX punk song I used to love. Don't call me white. I'm Palface, N-word, okay? Don't say the N-word without the black cat in the room. He calls me all the time, especially when he's got me on some slavery SHITE. He says, come on, pal girl, pal face, N-word. Do your job, man, when I'm shopping and things. Ashamana. That might be his name in tongues, because I keep saying Ashamana when I'm talking about Kitten Whitefoot. I shouldn't give his name to that. You might be able to summon him, one of you naughty tribe of Levi, can be on the dark side of the voodoo in Haiti. Poor Haiti, man. Did anyone see my video? America and Canada, USA and Canada, hands off Haiti. That's the land of the original priesthood, the tribe of Levi. We need those brothers and sisters for this spiritual warfare, you know. Ever since Halloween, the big pagan, the Ruach, the Holy Spirit, our mother, she told me, I don't think I knew she was female then, so I would be saying he told me, preferred pronouns and not just for the LGBTQ plus brethren. Okay, the Ruach has preferred pronouns. Woe to these fake white ass Christians. Nothing wrong with being white, even if you're not Irish. And a lot of you English Christians, you have Irish blood in you, you know. That's how we're overtaking you. Sleeping with the enemy. I'm only joking, man. I'm a born again virgin, and I don't ever want to get married except to our forthcoming king and bridegroom, Yeshua HaMashiach. What was I saying? Yeah, the tribe of Levi. And now I have a really good friend from the tribe of Levi, a priest. I can't remember the name of his channel, but he's called Saint Simon or something. So I've just got back from the cooperative bank, but I don't think you can use my card. You might be able to. God will protect me. I didn't mean to do it. Yeah, because for about over 2 weeks now, I've had trouble logging into my online banking with the cooperative. I rang them 3 times in one day. I spoke to a man, 2 men, and then 1 woman, and they could see I wasn't lying. I wasn't crazy. They send you a one-time password for your via email, and then you put your name in, and then you use the one-time password to log in. It wouldn't work. Blah blah. Today, my good friend Comrade Adam from SPGB, Socialist Party Great Britain, I got kicked out before I became a Christian for being too much of an anarchist, and they said I was an Irish nationalist, man, because on my Facebook, Comrade Christian, he's from Canada and he has some Native American blood. A lot of the Native Americans, your tribe of Gad, yeah, and are your Negroes, tribe of Yehuda, Messiah's tribe, you know. No wonder black people experience the worst racism in the world, you know. Under the I'm not laughing at you, bruvs. We've experienced it too. Tribe of Dan, Paleface tribe. Curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. Sorry, what I was saying, I'll go back to the start. Always a good place to start. Yeah, and I just felt him in my heart, my libby. He said, I'm Jesus, I'm here to get you off heroin and methadone. And I don't need to tell you, but I might do. You might not be a Christian. You could be a Satanist watching this and thinking, wow, this girl doesn't look like the Christianity at my church I used to go to before I followed Satan for some fun and games. Yeah, bruv. He said, I'm Jesus. Obviously, if he said, I'm Yeshua HaMashiach, I'd be like, who? You get me? And then later on, I learnt that his name is Yeshua, Yahushua, Ishi, Emmanuel, in God we trust. Not your gods, USA, on the back of your dollar bill, man. Crime doesn't pay. I used to be a petty criminal, theft, drug offences, but you know, I've paid back 7 times like a thief, and I'm still blessing the orphans and the people. That comes to another point. I'm very upset, and not upset but vexed, and so it's no skin off my nose if you don't want to learn. I just love you unconditionally. I don't want you to suffer. I want you to make the rapture. And Yeshua HaMashiach is the same. I've got a bit of a bollocking, a bit of a telling off for wasting too much money on people that don't want to learn. Apostle Paul said, if you don't work, you don't eat. Yeah. You may think, oh, she's a hypocrite sitting in her nice little Hestia flat with her kitten white for her faithful furry friends and fellow saint in her tribulations. But I didn't always have it this easy. I've been on the streets a few times and in hostels that weren't nice, and gone without food, and I had to beg for cigarettes and for drugs and steal for money to feed my child, you know. But because I'm obedient, I humbled myself before God. Ahaya Shahaya, the great I am that I am. Obey his laws, statutes and commandments as best as I can. That's what grace is. Grace is a second chance, or maybe a third chance, but it's not to be abused. So I've set up 2 Facebook pages. My Facebook is on this link, it's on this YouTube profile. Just go to my profile page, click on Michelle Martin under the video. It'll take you there, and then you can see it just says personal Facebook. And then somewhere on my Michelle Martin Facebook, there'll be a link. And one of them is called Hebrew Christian Saturday Sabbath with some teaching. And it used to be called When I Was Deceived. And I do confess it all because I want to help people that are deceived, and to show you that I'm not, just because I'm one of the chosen, I'm not all that myself and saying, oh, I know it all, bruv, you know nothing. Nah, I ain't like that, blood. It used to be called Rastafari Ethiopian Hebrew Christian Sabbatical, something like that. Yeah, I thought a dead Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie was Christ in his kingly character, and that's all that marijuana, blood. You know, it makes your brain. Now just smoke tobacco like a shaman. Tribe of Dan, we're bringing the curses and the blessings by courtesy of the Most High. Your God has many names, you know. We're not in the 144,000 Revelations, read it and weep, but we're the ones that bring his righteous judgments and justice. And then I set up a new one last week or the week before on my Michelle Martin Facebook, slightly that's a bit more basic and doesn't have as much stuff from other people unless they're quite basic as well, like from Hebrew to Christians, which is a really good site for learning your basic Torah, and it has all the Saturday Sabbath readings. And I post it on my YouTube, my Facebook, both pages, and my main Facebook. I'm setting up a new one today for the children. I made a video. I don't know if anyone's seen it yet. I uploaded it to YouTube, but not yet to Facebook. And then that's going to be the introductory video. I'm going to post on a few Hebrew Israelite and Gentile Christian sites I can find. There will be prizes for the children every Saturday, not just today. Today's Saturday. Today's Purim. Happy New Year, brethren. To the Jews, you know, the Hebrew Israelites, the real ones, not the ones Yeshua talks about. Also in the book of Revelations, good book, check it out, last book of your Bible. And I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews, but they are not, they are the synagogue of Satan. No offence to and this is what I call them, I don't know if anyone else does, non-ethnic, Messianic Jews. Example, Paul Wilbur. Example, Joshua Aaron. I testified on Joshua Aaron's profile page because he had a happy Purim message last night. I was really nice, but I said, you talk as though you're the real original Jews. You're not the original first chosen people. Do you understand? Because there has to be a certain order, you know? And that, like I said, I'm the tribe of Dan. A lot of the black Hebrews don't recognise this yet. That's cool. I hardly recognise myself, you know? I thought I was a Gentile, yeah. And also, I'm going to be posting it on some of you Gentile nations, specifically the African nations, children, that have been very polite. The brothers that actually asked me, yeah, we'll have our children learn Torah, and then they can get a decent job and not have to beg on the streets or go to, you know, and we'll be able to look after them and be family. £10. It's not a wage. Obviously, Torah is a joy to learn, and £10 is not a wage. It's just an incentive, and obviously you're going to need data to be on the internet and a snack, because Saturday Sabbath is a feast day and Purim is a feast day. What have I got? I've got cherry cake. I've got Smirnoff Raspberry Crush flavoured vodka. That was £15 reduced. I brought a brandy bottle. So I bought that 3 weeks ago at Sainsbury's, and I saw it reduced and thought I'll keep that. Didn't even know Purim was coming up. Just like Apostle Paul said to his, I better do this for no kids. This can be not for kids. You have a option when you upload the video. This can be for the adults. You know, we'll have a drink together while the kids are studying. We will not. We'll study with them. I have 1 daughter and 4 grandchildren. I might mention that. Yeah. So £10, and I get paid my benefits every 2 Mondays. I thought it was next Monday, but everyone knows I'm not a liar. If you think I'm a liar, I'll just block you, because I'm more than proven you're lying. If you're saying I'm a liar and I've proven I'm telling the Emet, the truth, that makes you a liar, doesn't it? False accuser. Ashamana tiawana. Ashakani tia mama shama. Shekaniah, that's a lot. I'm praying in tongues. Shekaniah is the glory kibod cloud that Yeshua went up to heaven in, and the angel said, Amen of Israel, Yisraelah, why did you stare up into the clouds? He will come again the same way he left. And that will be this year, rapture guaranteed. I'm not the only little prophet saying that. The order of Melchizedek, prophets, priests and kings forever. Our leader, Yeshua HaMashiach, the Black Christ. And to all you Gentile nations, yeah, we welcome you, you know. We're one big family. Miss Pucha, is it? I don't know how to pronounce it in Hebrew. The family of the Most High, you know. El Elyon, El Elyon, that's the Paul Wilbur song. Yeah, so I just said to Joshua Aaron, quite nicely, when I thought I was a Gentile, I was still so happy that especially the Black Brethren had the respect that they deserve. I've always loved their music, especially the two-tone music. That was a big movement in England when I was growing up, when I was 13. The first record I bought was Ghost Town by the Specials. They started the two-tone record label. It was based on the ska movement that started in Jamaica. There you got your tribe of Benjamin and the West Indies. So I went to the bank in Ealing. Comrade Adam from the SPGB took me. I'm not an Irish nationalist, I'm an anti-imperialist. There's a difference, and not just for Ireland. The SPGB believe in no money society, not like the mark of the beast. No, not like Satan. And we believe in one world, you know, and I'm still the same. Yeah, and he was and his name was Victor, so we got the victory over Satan, the god of this world. And as Pastor Robert Clancy from Perth, Western Australia, where I used to live, and with the tribe of Reuben, the Nungars, they call themselves Nungars. They call us white people Wadjulas, and they call a woman a Yorga. So I'd be a Wadjula Yorga, a white, or I prefer the term pal women to them, you know. A lot of them are really messed up by Christianity, but let's not go there. Yeah, he got messed around with his finances. When you're trying to do your duty and bless the poor, you get it even worse. Yeshua's had very strict words with me, as I've mentioned on a couple of my profile posts recently. I'm his sheep, I know his voice, Ashema, which means to listen, hear, act, obey, act accordingly and obey. So I can no longer give my money away and go without. I'm one of the tribulation saints going through Morgellons. It's a terrible burden. Better than you black brothers having to carry the white man's burden, you know. And you white brothers having to you know, be called racist and that just because of the colour of your skin. You know, we're all carrying each other's burdens. We're meant to. It all works out fair in the end. So let us just rest in that. This Purim. 13 minutes. So I haven't stopped chit-chatting. I know women aren't strictly meant to teach Torah, and at first I said flat out, no way, Jose, to Yeshua, to the Messiah, to the one that created me, sustained me, and raised me from the dead practically through Morgellons, Ted Nasa. But Apostle Paul said, for a start, women should not speak in church. That means praying in tongues. And we're not in church. I only pray in tongues a little bit. When I went to GOCC, Gathering of Christ Church in London with Sister Millicent and other brethren, I was the only white person there. That happens quite a lot in my life, but it's not a big deal for me, and hopefully not a big deal for you. It didn't seem to be at GOCC. One of the black brothers, probably tribe of Jehuda, or could be a Benjamite, as he just had a normal London accent. Like me, I don't have an Irish accent, I'm second generation. And he shared a scripture that I'd never heard, and he said, Sister, love the Edomite, do not abhor the Edomite, for he is thy brother. And now I know the other bit of it. and do not abhor the Egyptian, for you are a stranger in his land. And yeah, the Irish and the diaspora a lot went to America and also Australia, you know, and we were slaves and also indentured servants in the Americas, you know. And then as Comrade Adam was saying, and he's chiming down as well, I think he's a bit Welsh, he's got an Irish passport, second generation Irish, but he's a Protestant, not like a Catholic. Not that I'm Catholic, I do not follow the false prophet. Pope Francis, and they changed the holy day for Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday, not to mention all the you will die, you'll burn in hell, you'll perish, you idiots. I don't believe in molesting little children. I was a bad enough mother because I was a drug addict, and sometimes I was schizophrenic, you know. Schizophrenia and mental illness is caused by unrepentant sin and unhealed trauma. I had both. Now I'm healed, and those who believe will pray in tongues, so will cast out demons, so heal the sick, they will raise the dead. And we can do all things that Messiah done in his name. Yeah, so I didn't pray in tongues then. I wasn't praying in tongues then. A couple of years later, I really fell, and we all have a rise and fall, like the song by Loki, the English rapper. His mum's Irish, I think, and his dad's from Iraq. Haven't listened to him for years, and then on the way home from the bank on my tablet, the song Voice of the Voices was playing with Mortal Technique. I had such a big crush on him. I'm terrible, midlife crisis, you know, I'm 54 now. I don't follow him anymore. I like a couple of his songs, and I remember some of his lyrics I used in my little teachings. But he talks about Prophet Muhammad, a child molester and a false prophet. But I still love him and pray for him. I'm pretty sure if I come out of Rastafari and Islam and Wicca, that he's going to do the same, you know. And he could be feeling like hell at this moment, realising that he's betrayed the Most High, and that he's led a lot of sheep astray, you know, because I felt like that, and I hadn't even led hardly anyone astray. I wasn't on YouTube even, you know. So let's pray for him. And the other thing is, a woman should not usurp the authority of a man, you know. And even if a Gentile nation asked me to preach in their church as a woman, I wouldn't. I'd like to give my testimony. I gave a little bit once at Oasis Church in Collieswood, London. The thing I like most about that church is that there's, I think it's 52 or 72 nationalities represented there, you know. Pastor Sam is our preacher. He's from Nigeria, and he has a wife, and he's nice. So I'm not in a church. YouTube is just a common forum for us all to come together. So if any of you brothers, actually in Hebrew is it, when it comes to my Torah classes, you might just find it a bit easier to have a woman teacher that doesn't know much, you know, rather than a man that knows a lot. It could be a bit, you know what I mean, a bit overbearing. But of course, I do both. That's what I do. I listen to Gabriel of Christ Church, Elder. I keep saying I'm going to just kill Elder R, Roha, and Elder Lawyer, really good teachers. And then you've got the Gabriel of Christ Church, when I just watched Chicago. They call that the Windy City. A lot of Irish in Chicago in the diaspora. Anyway, I'm going to drink my coffee. This is my Tiger, Raw, the Eye of the Tiger. From Asda. It was only about $2.50. Yeshua told me to get some nice things to my flat and make it into a little sanctuary. And then I'm going to have home Bible study. If you don't like smoking, I'll sit by the window and you can sit on my sofa to sit safer. And that's in Surbiton. That's KT5 postcode. That's the next town is Kingston upon Thames, which is a rural borough, which is good because, believe it or not, common as much as I am a princess, and so are you if you're a Christian, because our Father is the King of Kings. And that's London borders, southwest London, and also Surbiton comes under the Surrey County, you know. Or if you're ever visited and you want to just drop by, or I prefer to meet for a coffee first somewhere nearby, you know, or even in a pub like I went today with Comrade Adam. So I've got my banking, so £10 for the 10 students that I choose. Some of you, we've already decided that you're going to study hard, and I'm going to give you until tomorrow because I haven't done most of it myself, and today's Purim. Let's focus on the children and on celebrating. My coffee is strong, sweet and black, and who else is strong, sweet and black? Could be your husband or your boyfriend, sisters. Like I said, I don't want to get married, but I encourage you to marry, and being celibate isn't for everyone. Some brothers like it as well, like Apostle Paul. But in the beginning, the Most High gave the world to Adam and Eve, and they fell. Eve got tempted. The woman is kind of the lesser sex, but it's equal but different. That's the way I look at it. I can't stand feminism. Even before I was a Christian, I didn't like it. It's false, you know. That a lot of them are men haters and lesbians, although they can be saved. I saw a black lesbian on YouTube once, and she was a Christian, you know, obviously a fake one, but she still believed, and she thought she'd never change, and Yeshua said, I'll change you, trust me. And now she's married with a son, Oh yeah, the specials are two-tone. They're based on the ska music from Jamaica. The bloke Victor at the bank was from Trinidad, so he's Benjamin. So I testified to him. I think he believed me about the God of this world interfering with my finances, and then Yeshai was upset that I wasn't obeying him straight away by saying no to some people for money. You know, I'm not your mother and I'm not your bank. Yeshai said, and I agree. I don't want to disable you and make you dependent on me. I haven't got the money. If Yeshua wants to provide for you, he doesn't need me to do it. I'm not God, you understand? I'm a saint and I'm one of the chosen, becoming one of the elect. We're not meant to be big bosses this time around, like when we had Abraham, the patriarch. For a start, I'm a female, and I'm not even the tribe of Judah, the ruling tribe. But even for them, I can't speak for them, but I've seen how a lawyer and Roha, how our work. They want to enable you, not disable you, so you can rise up, and then you have disciples, and then my disciples that I'm still gathering, and they'll raise up their own disciples, and we'll be one family. Like Paul said, when the church split into factions, did I baptize you? Did so and so die for you, or was it Christ? We're all Christ disciples. So there you go. I'm going to get on with the children's things now. After I drink my coffee and have a little lie down with Kit and Whitepaw. Dan is not in the 144,000. This is important, so listen up if you're still watching, or you might have just scanned through and got to this end. We're bringing the righteous, justice and judgment. It's through Morgellons. It's in everyone and everything. Google Morgellons swords, pictures, images. Some of those people have massive swords. I never had that. It's coming from the sky in chemtrails. Hello, Pigeon. I'm just getting your bread. Pita bread today, darling. Soft pita bread. It's lovely. No seeds. He's not talking to me, but I'm just talking to him. I'm telepathic with my cat, but I'll explain that later. So I think Solomon was, because he communed with the ants and also the birds. Oh, that's what I'm trying to do, you know, the birds. It's the pigeon. I call them undercover peacocks, because they've got that shimmering multicoloured thing here. Can't remember what I was saying now. So obviously I've done street drugs, and the other side of the CIA Criminals in Action coined the psychiatric drugs, which should be called pro-psychiatric. And I had long-term COVID a couple of years ago, which gives you memory loss. Also Morgellons. Like I said, I didn't have all those swords. You can see demons' faces in some of those people. Some of them are Christians, but they never consider this. The curse does not come without a cause. I'll say it again. The curse, Morgellons, is a death curse, the shaman's death curse, with fallen angel and nanotechnology, like making us into robot slaves, does not come without cause. That means unless you deserve it. We're all sinners. We were all born into sin when Eve fell and then led her husband Adam astray. And we've all done our own sins, you know, so think on that. Whenever I try to testify to them that our Messiah was a black man, I never believed he was a white man. They say the Irish are as thick as two short planks, and I'm second generation, but I never believed it, because I know what they said about black people. Go back to Africa and live in your trees, you thickos. Yeah, blood, why England was in the Dark Ages, so massive centres of learning in Timbuktu, in Mali, West Africa. Irish people and those out English kings and leaders flocked to Timbuktu to learn, you know. There's a book called From Babylon to Timbuktu. It explains how the tribes left Babylon when they were in slavery and went through some of the African nations. I put a nice comment to someone yesterday. There's a politician in South Africa I really like. Can't remember his name. He's a lot better than Nelson Mandela. We were all a bit conned by him. But I really liked him at the time, you know. And it was still some good in it. So was Martin Luther King. You know, there was some good in it at the time. You know, he'd done a lot. Yeah, so I've been commenting on him, and some of them were good to our people and would have helped them. I'm down the pale-faced trust. Keep thinking, looking at myself on camera, thinking you're white. People are going to think you're crazy for saying you're Israelite. And then I hear Yeshua on the other side, like the good cop, bad cop, or the angel and the devil. He says, no, just tell the truth. They're the elect, they're the chosen. They can see the truth. They will believe you. And you're proving it with Bible scriptures. So just go, girl. Yeah, we're bringing the judgment. We'll get it. It's typed by NASA. Anyone for a song? If I could be bothered, I'd play this song. Whitey on the Moon by Gil Scott-Heron. I used to love him, especially I had a beautiful poster of him, and it was like a blue scenery and all the smoke of his cigarette going up. I smoke because part of Morgellons is shamanic darts. You can see them with spiritual eyes. You don't have to be a shaman, a natural witch. If you're a Christian and you've got eyes to see, and even if you haven't, they're getting blatant, little invisible shimmery threads If you smoke, I'm not encouraging you to smoke. If you're trimetallic and you know you should be smoking to do your McGuinness, you should. Some of you whoever you are, betrayers, because of the Ark of the Covenant, and that's what it's manufactured in front of all of us, not just the first fruits, but all of us in turn. You know, we're like the front runners, you could so to speak, trailblazers. And when the Ark of the Covenant was stolen from the Hebrew people, terrible things happened, you know? Yeah. And it makes smoke, tobacco can make the dance more potent, more powerful, but you have to be very strong spiritually, and you have to have like a cat, permission from the line of Yehuda. When I was smoking and addicted, I couldn't give it up because of the art of dreaming, where the white man, not like the usual white man, um, goes into the dream zone on mushrooms, you know, and he goes with the tobacco spirit, which is a very hard spirit, but he gains it. It's like his familiar spirit. I was having terrible demons afflict me. Now I've got permission. Not only do the demons not have power over me, they've got no legal rights because I'm not sinning. But I can taste my food properly now. I can smell the nice smells. I have like all nice candles and things. White paws and cat little poo and the litter trays hardly smell at all. He's always cleaning himself. And one more thing about Proverbs 31 women, I need to clean my house. This area was clean, the sofas and the tables, but I'll do a bit more. I'm going to go and lie down. You can see I'm exhausted. That's why I'm rambling, procrastinating. Bye for now. Slango for.